There's a swing and a drive. And it one-hops the wall. Coming home. He'll score easily. And he deals. Drilled out towards left center field. That's well struck. That one back. And forget it. On the ground to first. And that should be extra bases. Runner around third on his way to the plate. One run's in. In there, safe. And a base hit up the middle. Around third. Here's the throw to the plate. But it's offline. And they're up by 3. Well done. Trailing by 3. We're here in the bottom of the 4th. Clobbered to right field. Way back. Gone. And that one hammered. That's back. And that one is gone.
Those feet, whatever it takes.
Swing and a high fly ball. That one out towards left center field. Way back there. Banks off the wall. He's in safely at second. And this one is tied. A run scores in the play.
Such
swing a high fly ball. Deep left field. That one carried. And it's off the top of the wall. In comes the run from second. 5-4 now as they take the lead. 2 outs. Hit to right, and that should do it. And that's it. The Phillies.
You can see the crowd. They're starting to get into it a little bit more.
Ground ball to short, miss out to do it. And that's it. They've won the World Series. World Series champs. For Chris Singleton and our outstanding crew.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to MLB The Show 24 franchise with the Cincinnati Reds. As you can tell, both by the beginning of the video highlights and kind of the screen we're looking at right now, we did end up losing the series. We got swept by the Phillies. They took the first 2 games, second one in comeback fashion, which was disappointing. But again, I was just glad we got there, and I didn't have huge expectations going into the postseason. As you see, our GM goals are to finish over 500 and reach postseason. We achieved both of those, so all in all, a successful season, and the trajectory we're going is certainly a positive one. The Dodgers end up winning the World Series in 7 games. It was a pretty fun series. They were up 3-1. Minnesota came back, and then Dodgers just got hot in Game 7. The Twins had a bunch of opportunities to score, and they just couldn't capitalize in the game. I believe they came back from down 2-0 against Houston in the wild card, and then they won 3 or 2 in a row against the Mariners in the ALCS. Mariners came back and led 3-2 or 3 whatever, and the Twins ended up winning in 7, and then again another. They played the max amount of games they could as a 1 seed and just fell short in the last game. The Dodgers had a pretty dominant run to the World Series. We're up 3-1, got back into the corner, but came out on top. The Giants beat the Cardinals in the wild card. Another reason I wanted to play the Cardinals is I thought we would fare better against them, but they lost quickly to Atlanta. Atlanta won Game 1 in that series, but then the Dodgers just came roaring back. So pretty fun postseason. There was a fair amount of sweeps in the early series, like the wild cards. Both the AL wild cards swept and one of the division series swept. There was a divisional series sweep in the National League as well as the Phillies, who swept us, got swept by the Dodgers. So I guess some karma for them. I don't know. But the World Series MVP was Shohei, and the postseason MVP in the National League was Gavin Lux. In the American League, it was Royce Lewis. As you see there, .333 average, 4 homers, 13 ribbies. Alex Kirilloff with barely below 300 average, 7 homers and the same amount of ribbies. So kind of figured it would go to him. But Shohei, first year of his, mega deal. Obviously, he's not getting paid $46 million a year in real life. He's getting a lot of that money after his contract's up. So the guarantee money he's getting while he's actually playing isn't as high, so they can continue to build around it. But first year of his, storied mega deal and amidst a gambling scandal in real life, but he gets the World Series ring and MVP in his first season after leaving the Angels. So without further ado, let's go ahead and advance into the offseason. So starting out here, we have the exclusive free agent. Oh, never mind. We're going to view retired players. Brett Kennedy, don't even know who the hell that is, but let's see if there's any notable guys here. Cookie Carrasco had some good years with Cleveland. Justin Verlander probably will be a Hall of Famer. Pretty solid in his last year. But look at that. Minus 15 on some of the ratings. Just the regression in this game is relentless no matter how good they're doing. Like, Verlander was still solid, but all of his ratings just tank. Scherzer also minus 16 with some of them. Jeez, he kind of had a down year, but I mean, still above a replacement level player. So, what was Justin Verlander's WAR? I'm curious. Scherzer's was like 72, Verlander's 78. So, Strasburg was on a Hall of Fame trajectory early in his career, and then just the injuries. But yeah, bad again this year. Barely above replacement level. Once he got that big contract, he just couldn't stay healthy. So sucks how his career kind of turned out. Chuck Nasty retires as well. 57 overall. Didn't hit a single homer this season. I mean, when you have 22 power against lefties, it's, brutal regression for him. Minus 1.2 WAR. Drove in 30 runs. But so some notable names there for guys that are actually on team. Bumgarner retired. He was pretty terrible once he got to Arizona, but was he a multiple-time MVP in the World Series for those Giants teams that won every other year? I can't remember. I think he was the one year. I don't know if he did multiple times. Johnny Cueto, former Red, had some really good years. I think was second in Cy Young in one of these years. It might have been it's one of these middle 2010s years, but he retires. Probably not a Hall of Famer, but Hall of Very Good, especially for the Reds. Let's see, kind of going through here. Zach Greinke didn't get picked up by anyone. Is he a Hall of Famer? I don't know. I feel like he'll get in, but we'll see. Yulesky Gurriel had some good years with the Astros. Of course, won a World Series with them. Or he might have won multiple. I don't remember. Let's see here. Nothing through this kind of middle part of the retirements, or no names that really stick out. Darren Ruff, Mets legend. Kirby St. John, that's a fun name. Is that a real guy? Vince Velasquez had some years in the majors. Jose Alvarez. I don't know. Yeah, I thought he had some decent years. But so some definite Hall of Famers. As Scherzer gets in, are they not putting Justin Verlander in? That would be really, really weird if they don't put Verlander, because he is without a doubt a Hall of Famer. But Scherzer gets in. So anyway, on to exclusive free agents for us. We have a handful of them. So basically all this is it's essentially restricted free agents. You can either offer them a deal here and try to sign them, or you can offer a qualifying offer if it says qualified under contract status. So let's say you're not willing to, work out a deal, or you can't think of something, it'll tender a qualifying offer, but we're not paying Lucas Sims $20 million a year. Really, all of these guys, I would like to bring back Brent Suter because he was pretty solid for us. And he's looking for a $1.4 million a year. I'll give him just a 1-year contract for $2 million. I would like to bring him back. Tony Kemp, though, don't really feel like bringing him back. I mean, as a depth piece, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So maybe I could look at that. Justin Wilson. No. Luke Maley. I would like to bring him back, 34 years old. Let's go ahead and offer him a 2-year deal for a little bit less than what he's looking for, but we'll go $3.5 million for 2 years for Maley to come back and be the backup catcher. Josh Harrison, I'm not bringing him back. Frankie Montas, he doesn't even expect to be in the rotation, but I don't want to pay him $6 million a year. He was okay for us with a 4 ERA, 1.2 WAR, so not terrible. But I'm going to let him go in free agency for now. Lucas Sims was not good for us, 5.23 ERA. Now he's not asking for a ton of money though, so I think what I'm going to do is just offer him a 1-year deal for $1.8 million, because kind of like a prove it deal. But I'm not signing, especially bullpen guys that have limited potential, to long-term deals. But I'll offer him the $1.8 million deal because he does have pretty nasty stuff. When I use him, I like using him, but Sim doesn't seem to favor him. His base on ball per 9 is pretty bad, so that probably factors into that. But the hit per 9s is really good, so you would think he'd be okay, but I guess not in this universe. Buck Farmer, kind of the same situation as Lucas Sims, but he's asking for a little bit more money for whatever reason. So I don't know if I'm really going to look to bring him back. He wasn't in the majors at all last year. He has some decent ratings, but I don't really think I'm going to prioritize him. Tony Kemp, I'm kind of conflicted on. It would be nice to have kind of that positional versatility with the ability to play second and the outfield spots. But is he worth paying? What would he want? Is he worth paying almost $2 million a year, which I know isn't that much? I think we'll let him go for now and kind of see how free agency works out. Staffing wise, everyone is under contract, which is good. We have a pretty good staff now. Third base coach J.R. House is not very good. These are not like the pitching coach, Derek Johnson. That actually is the Reds pitching coach, but like they don't have Colin Cowgill, I think his name is their actual first base coach. And the farm directors, not terrible. Like the bunting assets, I don't really care for, but I feel like we could benefit from a better third base coach. Like he literally doesn't improve anything. Everyone else, at least there's something that improves. So I'm going to fire him. We have a ton of budget left, so we can kind of afford to eat his contract, because why are we employing someone who doesn't improve us at all? He just makes us worse. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So going into third base coaches here, I would like to find someone who helps with hitting. Everything so far is fielding. Is there... Well, okay, hold on. Okay, wait. Okay, so I guess only the hitting coaches affect hitting rating. It used to be, regardless of the spot you were in, you would improve like a vast range of ratings. But now, or maybe I'm wrong on that. Could be, but okay. So let's try to find someone who's not necessarily going to be super, super expensive, but also improves our team a lot. So like Juan Marin right here is someone that I'd be interested in. The durability goes up, the stealing goes up, which is obviously good. Don't want a guy that has -3 fielding. That's the max amount you can go down. So anything with -3, yeah, that's a no-go. Like, how's this guy B attribute and he has minus in 3 of the categories? That doesn't make any sense to me. I would like to get a guy who improves both stealing and speed. That would be pretty ideal. This guy is +3 stealing but -1 speed, so kind of counterproductive there. Alex Cora, former manager. Let me go back up to, what was his name? Juan Marin, I think Juan Marin. So plus and everything makes the stealing a little bit better. I think we could benefit from stealing a bit more. let's see. Just kind of looking at some of these other guys like +1 speed plus Dylan Becker's pretty good too. This guy's like the same thing but +2 to speed. Oh, here we go. Devin Hood +1 speed, durability, and stealing. +3 stealing for Doug Nettleton. These guys up at the top are definitely better. Let's go with... Sorry, I don't want to take too much time on this, but let's go with... Let's go with Ray Diaz. +2 speed, arm strength, reaction, and blocking. But I want the stealing attribute upgrade too. This guy's... Kind of... I don't think there's anyone... Okay. Let's go Devin Hood because he does the speed and stealing and the durability and reaction goes up. So we'll offer him. He's looking for $1 million a year. Let's see. Does it show? Oh, there it is. Looking for $1 million a year for 2 to 4 years. So let's acquiesce him on that. 4 years, $4 million. Middle of the road interest. So let's just offer him and then go from there. Let's sim a couple days here. So Lucas Sims hasn't accepted his offer, nor has Luke Maley, but Brent Suter apparently did. This is the last day to tender qualifying offers. Maley and Sims still haven't accepted theirs, but I'm not going to really go out of my way to offer them more money. So free agency officially begins now. We have 35 guys on our 40-man roster. So basically, this little menu you're showing here, they're talking about guys you could lose in the Rule 5 draft, and we'll get to that. So right off rip, I'm looking at Justin Brule, who's already 27 and only 61 overall, but he does have the B potential. So we'll go ahead and add him because he could be a bullpen piece in the future. But after that, none of these guys, like Tony Santillan, I would kind of like to keep, but even he's not like super pertinent to keep on. I think Austin Callahan was on here too. He'd be kind of nice to keep, so I think I'll add him. And then that gives us 3 open spots. Connor Overton, he's 31. He's only 72 overall with C potential. So is he really worth keeping and taking up a roster spot? I really don't think so. So let's see. Free agency, the best guy is, well, technically Tanner Scott, but Juan Soto. I've talked about this before. I think we should make a run at him, but like paying him $38 million a year, that's going to become a problem when guys like, let's go down. Spencer Steer, he's going to need a contract in the future. Matt McClain, keep going down. Oh, here's some of our rookies, Rick Holden, Napoleon White. Cam Collier will obviously come up, and then we have guys that need new contracts like Friedel, Abbott, Noelvi Marte, Pico Armstrong. Like all those guys need new contracts. So I don't know if it's really worth just breaking the bank for Soto when we have so much talent coming up that we can play for cheap deals and then kind of build around them. One thing I would like to add is like, I'm not going to sign Trevor Bauer, but I would like to add a veteran arm for the rotation who's not going to cost a lot of money, but will kind of provide that fifth starter because I want Williamson to start off in AAA, and Nick Martinez is going to continue coming out of the bullpen for us because he was pretty good in that role. So obviously with Andrew Abbott coming back from injury, we need kind of a fifth starter. So I would like to find a veteran guy who we're not going to have to pay for a gajillion years and pay him a gajillion dollars. Like Jordan Montgomery isn't a horrible option. Didn't do great for the Cardinals last year. Shane Bieber isn't horrible, but he's, you know, he's going to be looking for a lot of money. He would like, the interest is going up here with the shorter deal, so that could obviously be an option there at 29. Is it like that for most guys? Like, do they prefer a shorter deal? Okay, I guess it kind of depends. But let's see here. Like Kyle Hendricks, I don't know about that. Jack Flaherty with A potential is kind of an interesting option, and he's only looking for a couple million a year. Yeah, I don't really think I'm going to bring back Frankie Montas, so I don't know. Do we make a run for Shane Bieber? He does have a qualifying offer to him, so even if we offer him, it's not a guarantee he will sign with us. Max Fried is an option. But see, he wants to be the ace, and I'm not looking to sign someone to be the ace. What's Shane Bieber? Shane Bieber just wants to be rotation, but he does want $24 million. But for 1 year, I mean, we can obviously afford that. First, let's go ahead and tender contracts to the guys that need it. So pretty much all these, okay, this is new. Fritos does not have enough MLB service to be eligible for salary arbitration. Therefore, you renew the contract at any price greater than 80% of their salary from last season, but no lower than MLB minimum. Okay. So greater than 80% of their salary. So can I just give them, you will not be able to continue contract negotiations with this player? Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm just going to, like, none of these guys, Noelvi, I kind of considered offering him, but like a long-term deal, because I think he's going to be really good, but it's just such a small sample size. So we'll just renew everyone here for now. Obviously, if they play really well, they can earn themselves new contracts. But for the time being, we'll just renew everyone. Connor Overton, I'm just going to do all the guys that are contract renewable right now. Sure, Christian Roa. Don't really have any interest in getting rid of these guys. And I'll also cut away here eventually, because obviously no one wants to see all of these guys get tendered contracts, but just renew everyone. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to cut away real quick and just offer arbitration is another thing we have to do. Basically, arbitration is like if you don't want to sign the guy to a long-term deal, you offer a number, and then they offer a number, and then there's a hearing in like February, and like a panel sides with either the player or I said TJ Anton because who we're looking at. They either side with the player or the organization on, how much money the player gets. So I'm going to offer most of these guys, like Mike Ford, I won't. Austin Wins, probably not. Martini, I will. So like most of these guys I'll offer. Not really looking to sign anyone to an actual contract. Maybe Tyler Stevenson, but he was just so up and down last year. And he was horrible in the Phillies series. So most of these guys I'll just offer arbitration to bring them back. And then I'll do the contracts off camera. And then I'll also take some time to think about what I want to do with our free agency strategy. All right, so I will be back in a second. All right, I've done some free agent work with tendering contracts and everything. So most of the guys I just offered a contract to, except for like Connor Capel. Because these guys have MLB service, they don't get paid. Like you see here with TJ Sikma, only 1 year, $60K. These are guys who have never appeared in the majors yet. So guys like Capel who have, you got to pay them quite a bit more money, and he's not going to be a part of our future at all. So I'm going to let him walk. I did end up offering Overton a contract. Now, again, I don't know if we're going to add him to the 40-man roster. That remains to be seen. But for now, I'll offer him a contract. But most of these guys, even some of the ones that have had major league experience, like Matthias is a utility guy. You never know with injuries if we could use someone like that. So I offered almost everyone a contract. This guy's 36, so no reason to keep him. 34, like no reason to keep some guys like that. So some of these really low overall relief pitchers that have appeared in like one game before in their life, like no reason to bring them back really. And then for arbitration, I offered 3 guys arbitration. I offered Fraley, Graham Ashcraft, and Austin Wins. All guys I would like to have back on the team for obviously different roles, but and then guys like Mike Ford, and he actually might have been the only one I didn't offer contract. Yeah, so Mike Ford's the only one I'm kind of leaving in the dust here because, I don't really need him. But like TJ Antone, just like these small deals because to keep them on the team but also not committing a bunch of money because, again, I'm just kind of being a little bit of a cheapskate like the real life Reds, but I'm just, preparing for the fact that the future, we have so many good young guys coming up that are going to eventually get big contracts. So I'm kind of holding off on offering long-term deals right now in favor of just keeping guys and seeing how they improve and whether or not they're going to be a part of the future. And then free agency-wise, I have offered Shane Bieber 2 years, $25 million a year, so $50 million deal. He honestly makes sense in my opinion. He's about to be 30. So we don't want to have him for too long to hold back some of our young guys coming up, but would definitely help our rotation out a little bit and doesn't completely, make us bankrupt for the future, like offering a mega deal for Soto is. So I'm actually not going to offer Soto a deal. It just doesn't make sense. And just looking at it from, I know it's a video game, but from a realistic perspective, I feel like the Reds are going to want to build with homegrown talent, that they have in their system rather than giving out 10-year mega contracts. So we'll see where Soto ends up, but it is not going to be with the Cincinnati Reds, at least not in this universe. But I did offer Shane Bieber. I looked at some other guys like Walker Buehler if we don't end up getting Bieber because he does have the qualifying offer, so Cleveland can match us and keep him. So there's some guys we can pivot to like Walker Buehler. John Means isn't a terrible one. Pivetta, there's some other veteran guys who we could bring in case we don't end up getting Shane Bieber, but that's who I'm looking at adding right now on a 2-year deal for $50 million. I gave him a player option as well, so which actually I'm going to withdraw that offer, and I'm just going to take the player option away because it's a 2-year deal. Let's just 2-year, $50 million deal. Kind of similar to Blake Snell. He got a 2-year deal from the Giants this year, so that's who we offered. And then I offered, obviously, Lucas Sims and Luke Maile from before in the offseason. Then I offered Eduardo Escobar because he's essentially a better hitting version of Tony Kemp, who I was considering bringing back, but he has even more positional flexibility. He can play first, third, short, left, and right field. So if we ever need a, utility guy because of injuries or, again, just another veteran guy for a stopgap, he would be a good option. So I'm guessing he's going to end up signing with us, but those are the 4 guys we have offered. So if all 4 of those guys sign, our 40-man roster will actually be one too many. So might have to take someone like Austin Callahan off or trade someone away, which isn't a big deal, but we'll see how free agency plays out. Let's just sim through the weekend and then see what we got going on. So it looks like Lucas Sims accepted our deal. So he is back. So as you see, 38 on the 40-man right now. An option I was looking to pivot to in case Luke Maile doesn't accept our deal is Yasmani Grandal to be our backup catcher. Obviously, the fielding ratings aren't great, but he can still hit pretty well. So, and I was just looking to offer guys who aren't looking for platoon role, just depth. So if something happens with Luke Maile, I'm going to pivot to Yasmani Grandal, who at one point was in the Reds farm system, so way early in his career. So We'll see what happens with that. Most guys, or not most, but a lot of guys have accepted their tendered contracts. And then I think maybe we've had a couple guys accept their arbitration, or not arbitration deal, their contract offer instead of arbitration. Devon Hood took our offer to be the third base coach, so that is good. Our staff is filled out. I honestly kind of forgot about that. Let's sim up to the weekend, and we got a trade. JT Realmuto being traded from the Phillies for Merrill Kelly, a veteran for veteran deal. And interestingly enough, the Phillies trade away their catcher, JT Realmuto, and they also gave away Johan Rojas, their center fielder. So looking at the Diamondbacks, who didn't really need a catcher, although JT can play first because Christian Walker is a free agent. Gabby Moreno, I think that's Gabby Moreno can play corner outfield, so maybe that's what they're looking to do. But interesting move there. They also got Johan Rojas, who has a potential in the outfield, so their outfield future is looking good with Carroll, Rojas, and Drew Jones, and Alec Thomas. So why would the Phillies do that trade? That makes no sense unless they're banking on Justin Crawford to come up or they want to move Marsh to center field. Like, how in the world does that make sense? And Garrett Stubbs, Merrill Kelly would be their number 3 guy in the rotation, so maybe getting swept by the Braves or the Dodgers is like, hey, we need better pitching. I don't know. That's a weird deal. It doesn't make a ton of sense in my opinion, but free agency doesn't look like anything's changed. Still got some guys who we have offered contracts to that haven't accepted yet. Arbitration list is a little bit short. It looks like TJ Antone accepted his deal, so that's good. We get him back in the bullpen. But yeah, interesting move. Let's go ahead and sim up to the 40-man roster limit. Let's see. Still no news on Luke Maile, which, I mean, at this rate, I might rescind the offer and just go for Yasmani because the bat's just better. I think that's what I'm going to do, honestly, because the bat's better. Like, listen, guy, you want to play hard to get. You are better behind the plate, but I'd rather have Yasmani Grandal. So let's go ahead and offer him just a 1-year deal for, sure, $1.5 million. Or let's just give him what he wants. Let's go 1.6. So 1-year deal for Yasmani. Maile just wasn't biting. He wasn't terrible for us, but he's a depth piece, so not the end of the world to lose him. So that changes our free agent outlook a little bit, but really nothing serious. So we have some guys like Tony Santillan and Connor Overton that aren't on the 40-man that could get selected in the Rule 5 draft, but if we lose them, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Teoscar Hernandez to the Mets to be their right fielder. Kind of see how he fits in there. 2 years, $16 million deal. Not a big contract, but yeah, he's going to start right away. Marte's getting old, so maybe he'll revert to DHing or something like that. So the Mets, who were pretty bad in this universe in year 1, get a pretty big acquisition in free agency with Teoscar Hernandez, who wins a ring with the Dodgers and then goes to the Big Apple. Let's go ahead and sim up here. Today is the last day to offer salary arbitration. I've already offered all the guys that I want to offer arbitration, so we can just keep going through the weekend here. A bunch of guys getting offered arbitration. And Yasmani Grandal accepted our contract, so there we go. I'm going to go ahead and switch him over to catcher, and he will be our backup catcher for this upcoming season. He is not on the 40-man roster right away, but I'll go ahead and add him and then move him up to Major League Baseball. So, again, he was once in the Reds farm system, and they didn't hold on to him. So now he's back. And it looks like Connor Overton and some of those guys took our offers, but, again, they could be taken away from us in the Rule 5 draft. Let's sim a few days. Doesn't look like anything's happening. Shane Bieber and Eduardo Escobar. All right, Eduardo. Our glorious king, Joey Votto's not here. So, oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, he's falling victim to regression. He had 12 homers, though. Had a, he had 1,000 OPS for the Blue Jays, 1.6 WAR. Hey, good for you, Joey Votto. But please, just retire now. Like your vision is 40 now, and that used to be by far his best asset was his vision and play discipline. But obviously switched it up as he got older. All right, where are you at? Okay, Eduardo Escobar. I was giving you what you asked for, but I will give you an extra $100,000. Just sign with me, please. Please just sign with me so I have a veteran depth piece. Let's kind of look at the offers for these top guys. Soto, the Mariners leading the way. He's really not getting that mega contract that he's probably looking for. Tanner Scott's got some interest. Corbin Burns, Pete Alonso. Please don't go to the Pirates. Gleyber Torres, Max Fried. He's kind of getting done dirty. Christian Walker's only been offered by the Diamondbacks, which is surprising. Clay Holmes, no offers. Adames, only one offer. Leclerc, the reigning reliever of the year in the AL, one offer. Not a ton of attention for some of these guys. We're getting some competition from other teams for Shane Bieber. I want him to make a decision soon so I can just offer someone else in case. But he is, rightfully so, in no hurry to all players. Okay, yeah, I've already tendered contracts to everyone I want to. Okay, Eduardo Escobar took our contract, so there we go. There's a veteran piece in case we need it. And in case you were curious, let's say we're making an offer. We still have a ton of budget to, if we wanted to offer Soto $40 million a year, we could, but I'm just not going to go that route. Just rather add some. Oh, the Phillies, who made a horrible trade already this year, offered me one. Kyle Schwarber for Tyler Stevenson. No. Even though Schwarber was the main reason not the main reason, but a big reason we lost to them in the wild card. Not taking him. Clay Holmes to the White Sox. Poor guy. That's all I can say. But good for you. You got your money. The Rays are offering me a trade. They have tried to get Matt McLain for me like 3 separate times, and this is not a bad trade. Curtis Mead is a good prospect, and J.J. Goss. This is honestly not a terrible trade, but I'm not giving away McLain, who's going to be playing center field for us. So, was it a bad trade? No, but just not worth taking. Let's see, a couple trades going down. Not really any big names outside of that the Merrill Kelly one. Oh, there's one. The Cardinals got Jeffrey Springs for Brendan Donovan, so they traded away their second baseman. And then the Rangers trade away Kumar Rocker to the Cardinals. So some trades going down. But the Cardinals already have Nolan Gorman at second, so that probably won't hurt them too much. Connie Stinson, if you end up being a stud, that's going to hurt my soul knowing that we could have taken you. So, yeah, Nolan Gorman gets the keys to second base there if he didn't have it already. And then the Rays got Brendan Donovan. So they already have 20 million second basemen. So I don't know. I mean, he can play a bunch of positions, so he'll fit in somewhere, I guess. But and then, yeah, they got Jeffrey Springs. Where's he fit in their rotation? Jeffrey Springs. Oh, wow. He's their second highest rated pitcher. That's kind of surprising. Man, their rotation is old. Holy crap. No one under the age of 32 and their 5 highest rated guys. But anyway, so the Rule 5 draft is coming up. Oh, the draft lottery. This would be cool. Yeah, so we're not in the lottery. So we're going to have the 19th pick regardless, but kind of looking at the snapshot there, I'm pretty sure if we hit simulate, it shows how much they fall or rise in the draft order based on how the lottery plays out. But the White Sox, who had the worst record in baseball, get totally screwed. Wow, the top 3 teams with the best odds for the number 1 pick all drop 6 spots. And the Guardians get the number 1 pick for the second year in a row. The Brewers up there, wow. That really sucks for those 3 teams. They got screwed by the lottery. Jeez. The Mets with a fringe top 5 picks. Wow. Poor. All those terrible teams just got screwed. Pete Alonso to the Tampa Bay Rays as they're looking to recover from Wander Franco being a pedophile and costing them any momentum they had with their. They were a pretty relevant team the last few years in the postseason, but yeah, not last year. Tanner Scott to the Royals. Juan Soto to the Angels to play with Mike Trout. Interesting. 6 years, $31 million a year. And Trout goes from Ohtani flanking him in the outfield to now Juan Soto and Corbin Burns. Wow. Okay, so the Angels in the twilight years of, well, maybe not necessarily twilight years, but, you know, getting towards the end of Trout's career after seeing Ohtani win a ring in his first year with the Dodgers in this universe, they are going all in free agency. Corbin Burns and Juan Soto both to the LA Angels to play with Mike Trout, who is still a 99 overall. Yeah, why did I say twilight years? He's only 33. Yeah, that's a huge move. And honestly, makes a ton of sense. They could use him. Taylor Ward's, he can play almost anywhere. So, hey, maybe the Angels can make a run here with Trout finally and stop putting him in hell. Their rotation's okay, so that'll be interesting. The Rays, well, I guess real quick, Tanner Scott, I mean, really good closer, 30 saves a year ago, sub 1.5 ERA. Just the Marlins didn't win a lot, so he didn't have a ton of opportunities. So they get the best closer on the market, and then the Rays continue to add to their lineup. They acquired Brendan Donovan from the Cardinals and then shell out a not very high-paying contract to Pete Alonso. I thought he would get a lot more money, but Pete Alonso, I would imagine one of these guys will DH. They still have Harold Ramirez, too, so they got a ton of guys that can hit, but there's only so many spots in the lineup, so it'll be interesting to see how they manage that. Shane Bieber still has not taken our offer. Buddy, you need to make a decision because some of these guys, and like we could get accepted and the Guardians could match it for all we know, so you need to like make a decision. I know you want to be a Cincinnati Red, like Josh Hader traded back to the Padres, right? Wasn't he already on there? For Matt Waldron and Elijah McDougall from the Astros. So Josh Hader back to the Padres. Interesting. And I would assume those are just prospects. Yeah, he was on the Padres. I knew I wasn't tripping. Pretty good year, though, last year. He was good for the Padres. Remember that year? Yeah, he was unhittable in Milwaukee for a while. But back to San Diego, and Matt Waldron, the knuckleballer, goes to Houston, and Elijah McDougall, who I'm just going to assume, yeah, there's Waldron, who throws the knuckleball, and then McDougall, okay, see potential, but yeah, kind of a, I don't know what to feel about that. Rule 5 draft is today, so basically how the Rule 5 draft works is if you draft someone in the Rule 5 draft, they have to stay on your 40-man roster for the entire year in order to keep them. So kind of going through here. A couple teams will take guys. It's like Dre Jamison goes to the White Sox. Usually teams that aren't very good who can just use guys will take somebody in the Rule 5 draft. But like in our case, like Oscar Colas is kind of an interesting guy to be in here, but I don't want him up on the Major League roster all year. So there's a fair amount of guys here with decent potential, but yeah, not anyone that I'm really like. I don't feel the need to add anyone through the Rule 5 draft. So I'm just kind of taking like a Corey Lee, a B potential catcher, would be, I feel like, a decent pickup for someone, but yeah, I'm not going to take someone. If you skip it, you can't draft anyone for the rest of but it's only 2 rounds, so yeah. Rule 5 draft, like, I feel like you can get some decent players out of it, but there's really not a lot to it, so I guess from here we'll just kind of sim for a while. Luis Robert to the Astros for a whole host of players. Hunter Brown, one of their pitching prospects, Ryan Presley, and Zach DeZenzo, who is an Ohio State alum. Fun fact. I'm also an Ohio State alum, so that's the only reason I knew that. But yeah, so some prospects to the White Sox for Robert, who can't really blame the White Sox for making this move because they got screwed in the recent draft lottery. They need prospects bad. They're not intending on being good for a while yet. And yeah, the Astros stacked lineup gets even better. So that's awesome. Chas McCormick probably DHs for them now. Or I guess Jordan probably does. And McCormick plays left. So let me go ahead and switch that now. I'm going to assume that's what they do. So yeah, their outfield is just totally loaded. Yeah, they'll be very, very good again next year. Their rotation takes a hit with Hunter Brown, who now becomes their highest rated pitcher. Obviously, they don't have Dylan Cease. They got Drew Thorpe from the Padres, who came up and pitched a lot for them last year. But now they get Hunter Brown. Zach DeZenzo is a solid third base prospect who can also play first and second. And then I forget the last one. They also have Samuel Savella from the Padres trade that they, well, barely played, but he came up eventually. So they're acquiring prospects, and they got Alex Verdugo. So one of those. They don't show all the free agency moves in this game. So really the only ones they'll show for that special screen is the really high-rated guys. But there's a decent acquisition for them, Verdugo. But they're still going to be bad. They have 2 players above an 80 overall. But starting to acquire some prospects for them. So good for them. Oh, yeah, I was talking about how not all the free agent signings get a notification or special screen for it. Yeah, I didn't get any notification, but Shane Bieber did end up signing with us for a 2-year, $50 million deal. So we get a really nice rotation piece to, again, I don't intend on him being a long-term piece, but as we try to improve better in the postseason, definitely will be a useful asset for us. Kind of simming through some of the days here, a lot of trades being made, one of which includes the number 2 overall pick from a year ago, Dylan Cruz, being traded to the Diamondbacks, who already have a shit ton of high-profile outfield prospects. So I don't know what they are trying to do with all these outfielders, but they get Dylan Cruz, the Nationals' top prospect, for Tommy Troy and Ivan Melendez. J.P. Crawford got traded to the Rays for Shane Baz. Jordan Hicks goes to the Mets. Blaze Jordan, who has an awesome name, goes to the Guardians. Connie Stinson, who just got drafted this past year, traded to the Cardinals for Taj Bradley. So Connie Stinson, who I was so concerned about whether he was going to develop and be a stud in our division. Yeah, he's already not in our division. And then O'Neal Cruz traded out of the NL Central from the Pirates, who would probably never trade him, but they get Cole Young, who is a shortstop prospect, and Johnny Murphy. So, yeah, just a ton of weird moves being made. Some of them make sense. Some of them don't make any sense. But, yeah, because I was just looking at some rosters, and I went to the Diamondbacks, and I was like, look at all these A potential, B potential outfielders they have. Like, what the hell are they trying to do? I don't understand. But some of these guys like Frelick and Thompson can play in the infield. But they got Christian Walker back, and they got Ketel Marte back. So, like, yeah, I'm not really sure how they're going to make this work. But they got a ton of talent for sure. There's no denying that. So, yeah, there's just been some wacky, wacky moves. As far as free agency, some recognizable names like Jock Peterson to the Giants, or I feel like he was already on there. So he was at one point. So Guardians get Eddie Rosario. Conforto to the Pirates. Will Smith to the Rangers. Let's see. Charlie Gary. Charlie Gary, wasn't that our draft pick? What? We signed him. I thought I signed Charlie Gary. Why did he just leave us? What the heck, Charlie Gary? I mean, it's not really a huge deal because I didn't... What? How the... Why? Why? I mean, whatever. I don't know how that worked because I'm pretty sure I signed him, but maybe not. Maybe I could be wrong. I thought I signed all my rookies, but um, yeah, Charlie Gary to the Red Sox. So all power to you, guy. Omar Narvaez to the Cubs. Tehran to the Diamondbacks. Yeah, not a ton of big names really. Um, Quintana to the Braves. Rojas to the Royals. Clevenger to the Pirates. Yeah, so again, kind of a bunch of the mid-tier level. I don't know exactly what day Shane Bieber signed with us, but oh, there you go. December 22nd, Laureano to the Rangers. Um, as far as free agents still out there, Gleyber Torres still out there, Fried, Leclerc. Um, all the guys I've offered have pretty much signed at this point, so that's obviously good. Austin Nola would have been a piece to look at too, but Grandal's just a better hitter, so some decent free agents still out there, but for now, like, there's nothing really I want to do. Just sim up until the last week of the month and see if there's anything else crazy that has happened. Yankees get Kyle Hendricks. No more crazy trades, so that's kind of dulled down. Just a crazy flux of moves here. It's going to be oh so fun for me at the start of spring training to adjust all the rosters to make stuff make sense, but kind of going through the transactions. I saw Jordan Luplow got a contract. Tommy Kahnle to the Giants. Not a ton of big names. Connor Joe. Elias Diaz, a former All-Star to the Guardians. Yeah, Kyle Hendricks, they talked about that. Aaron Hicks to the Red Sox. Drew Pomeranz, Archie Bradley, some recognizable names here and there, but nothing really exciting. Still, some of the top guys are still without a home. Into February now, some through the week. Let's see, still no more trades, which is honestly kind of a good thing. It makes it easier to keep up with what's going on. Garrett Cooper to the Mets, so there's one of the Michael Priest, the Giants. I only knew that name because I saw him at a Clippers game last year. Pretty much just a lot of minor league deals being signed here. Let's keep going. Another week. Okay, Gleyber Torres is re-signed to the Yankees, so but Max Fried, who has offers, Leclerc has offers. I'm surprised he didn't have better ones because he had a crazy good year last year. Kepler's still up here. I don't think Merrifield will sign anywhere. The older free agents, like J.D. Martinez, even though their ratings are good, they're just not going to get signed. Paul Goldschmidt, same thing. Holy crap. Minus 26 power against lefties. I have never seen it. That is absolutely insane. How much they regress. Oh, Tim Anderson, his fall off needs studied. That's just crazy. 26 points down. That shouldn't even be fucking legal. Okay, the panel sided with us for Austin Wynn, so he's back in the organization as kind of a depth piece. Max Fried to the Dodgers. Oh, great. The defending champs just stay getting better. The Marlins, who lost Tanner Scott, get Jose Leclerc, so good replacement for them. So now these guys are starting to get... You'll see more moves being done as arbitration hearings go down because guys will be back on the team, so teams have a better idea of what their roster looks like. Panel signs with Ashcraft. I think I was only offered him like $1 million, so they give him an extra $700,000. Thanks a lot, assholes. Sided with us for Jake Fraley, so he's going to be getting essentially $3 million. Sim through the rest of the week. That was all of our arbitration hearings. Looks like, oh yeah, a couple of the top free agents already got signed. Kepler to the Padres, okay. No more trades. And then free agency kind of going through here. Adalberto Mondesi. I looked at, he was like a 58 overall. He was like a promising part of the Royals' future at a time, but not anymore. Some of these like veteran, utility guys are getting signed. Obviously, some big names there. Billy Hamilton going to the Athletics. Elvis Andrews to the Rockies. Yeah. Oh, there you go. J.D. Martinez gets signed. He goes to the Giants. Tyler Naquin to the Athletics, as well as Michael A. Taylor and Jackson Frazier. So they're signing a bunch of veteran outfielders. Rockies signed Jason Vossler, who looked like Babe Ruth for like 2 days for the Reds last year. Phillies, Solano, Camargo, so a bunch of veterans getting signed. Tommy Pham, Castro, and Brandon Bell all to the Tigers. Austin Meadows to the White Sox. Oscar Mercado, yeah. Holy crap, look at all these veteran signings. Kike Hernandez to the Phillies, Diamondbacks. Getting more outfielders. Make that make sense. Luke Maile goes to the Rays. Okay, so he gets signed. Good to see he's not going to be unemployed. Tim Anderson to the Orioles. Yeah, a bunch of these veterans after arbitration getting signed now. Evan Longoria to the Phillies. Josh Donaldson, who is retired in real life, to the Nationals. Gene Segura. Joey Votto to the Rockies, so he gets a contract. That makes me happy. But he ain't getting a ring in Colorado, I hate to tell you. Let's see, who's still out there? Whit Merrifield's still out there. Paul Goldschmidt. Daniel Hudson. So still some veterans out there that could be useful at the right spot. John Birdie out there too, but don't know if they'll really get signed. Let's sim up to the final day before spring training. Take a look and see if anything has happened. No trades, free agency, no signings. So it looks like rosters are going to be set. And so with that also, we have one 40-man roster spot available. Who would we have lost that? I don't even know. But we could probably just add like one of the relievers or something to it to fill that out. I'm going to have to definitely do some adjustments to positions here and there just to make sure every level has enough guys, and I might have to sign some minor league contracts, but I'll do that off camera, obviously. Let's go ahead and sim to spring training. So our roster for 2024 is set and ready to go. A bunch of guys at or above 80 overall, which is good. Again, I'm banking on just running it back and just relying on the homegrown talent, which I know it's fun to go after big name free agents. I mean, we got Shane Bieber, who's kind of a big name, but you know, it's obviously fun to go after guys like Juan Soto and stuff, but I also just think the real Reds are going to try to continue to build from within and rely on those guys. So I don't know. Obviously, not a super exciting free agent strategy, but one that I think will work out for us, and excited to see how it'll pay off. So I'm going to do a bunch of roster adjustments off camera and, you know, get a feel for some of the other teams around the league, because there's some teams that are going to look way, way different. Like the Diamondbacks are going to look a lot different. The Mariners have O'Neal Cruz. The Cardinals will look different. The Angels look really different with Trout now joined by Soto and Corbin Burns. So, yeah, this is always like my favorite part of, or one of my favorite parts of these franchises, just kind of catching up and seeing what some of the other teams look like. And then again, I might have to sign some minor league free agents just to fill out the roster in the minor leagues, but I'll just do that off camera, right? So, yeah, I'll make roster adjustments. I've kind of hinted towards some of them, like Matt McClain's going to play center field for us because I know Pete Crow Armstrong's ready to play now, but I'm going to start him off in AAA again just so those hitting ratings get even better. And he was developing very well at AAA, so I'm going to keep him down there. So McClain's going to play center. TJ Friel's going to play a corner outfield. Marte will play third. Jamer will move over to first, and Sear will play second. So I'll make those adjustments off camera, and then kind of finagle with some of the other teams' rosters with position and numbers for my OCD purposes. All right, so that'll do it for this part, the off-season video. Probably going to be a long one. I wasn't keeping track exactly how long I was recording, but I'd imagine it'll be a long one. But next part, maybe we'll play some spring training games, but I might just go straight to opening day. It'll just be a judgment call by me, so we'll find out. So yeah, that'll do it for this part. Pretty wacky off-season. but I'm excited for 2025 and see if we can take that next step in winning some playoff series in 2025. All right, so that'll do it for this part, and I hope you guys have a great day. Goodbye.